hanging on by a thread. And I'm caught up in the middle, chasing all these thoughts in my head. Hanging by a thread. We tripped on the urge to feel alive. Will you heal my scars? Cause I'm terrified of getting old. It's easy when you're young and blindfully innocent and blissfully dumb. Before it's said, before it's done, I'll give this everything I got. The worst part is I'm spinning out. I'm trying to keep it together. Hanging on by a thread, and I'm caught up in the middle, chasing all these thoughts in my head. Hanging by a thread. How does it feel when you let it go of everything that you can't control? Sick of getting up every time I fall. So is it worth the thrill of it all? Before it's said, before it's done, I'll give this everything I got. The worst part is I'm spinning out. I'm trying to keep it together. Hanging on by a thread, and I'm caught up in the middle, chasing all these thoughts in my head. Hanging by a thread. Hanging by a thread. Hanging by a thread. Yeah, under one condition. I swore that this couldn't be true. Waiting for your permission. Now watch what I'm about to do. Hanging on by a thread, and I'm caught up in the middle, chasing all these thoughts in my head. Hanging by a thread. Hanging by a thread. Hanging by a thread.
Hi, welcome to the Every.Thing.After podcast. My name's Rob, and I have with me in the studio today Addison and Ray of Rose Colored World, a Los Angeles-based rock band that combines catchy melodies with honest, self-reflected, and narrative-driven lyrics. You're blowing up on Instagram and all over social media. You were in Cleveland, Ohio here recently where I saw you, and I'm just so excited to have you on the podcast and talk about what's going on.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us. We've actually been a band for longer.
Probably like 2020.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been a band for a minute, but we caught the buzz, within the last year or so. So
Yeah. Well, tell me about how you got started then.
Ray and I met the night Tom Petty passed away, actually. Rest in peace
wow.
to a legend. We were at a jam in Hollywood. We started writing together 2 days later, and we decided to join forces probably about, a few months later?
a few months later, just for writing for each other's solo projects at the time. And then I got booked to play a backyard show, and I didn't want to play alone. And I said, hey, you want to play this gig with me? And he was like, yeah. And then we got off stage, and everybody's like, what are you guys called? And I was like, you guys called, or like, what's your band? And it kind of sparked the idea to join forces and create this project. So that was, probably the end of 2019 when we really were like, oh, this would be cool. And then we jumped into pandemic energy and, kind of just created through it to what you are seeing now.
That's awesome. So where did you come up with Rose Colored World?
So when Ray and I met, we both were wearing like the Lennon circular rose-colored
Rose
glasses.
colored glass.
Yeah, I never took mine off, and we got out of that show. And when somebody said, "What are you guys called?" We were in the car. We're like, "Do you want to do this?" And we're like, "Yeah." She's like, "What should we be called?" And I just looked at both of us, and I was like, "Rose-colored world." And
It was the first thing he said, and I
Yeah.
was like, that feels really. And then as we've had the band, it's grown into something so much bigger than that, where I feel like, the world could feel really dark and lonely and icky and shitty, and it's like a place where people can kind of feel really great. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's awesome. I think that's, I think that meets the moment that you were in for sure. And the moment that we're all in, where we're looking for a little rose color in our glasses, I think.
yes,
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So it's like cool, like, you got to see us in Cleveland. It's been really fun to like drop into people's cities and kind of spread that, and then, get in our van, and we were in an RV for a bit, and, whatever we're in, and get to the next city and kind of do the same thing. So really grateful to be doing that.
Yeah. So you both were already doing the music thing when you met. Can you both tell me a little bit about how you got started individually and sort of what sparked your interest in music? Like, why did you want to be rock stars? Who
I
made you want to, like, who inspired you to want to be a rock star, I guess?
Yeah, so I started playing drums first in the fourth grade. Um, my grandfather played trumpet in the Glenn Miller Orchestra, which is really
Oh,
awesome.
wow.
Um, I think I always loved music growing up in the house, listening to the Beatles or Billy Joel. My dad would play. But once I started hearing bands like The Used and Taking Back Sunday, I was like, oh, like I always wanted to do music, but when I heard that stuff, I was like, it like brought out different emotions in me. Um, and yeah, that's the only thing I've been focusing on since high school, honestly.
Awesome.
For me, my dad played in a classic rock cover band growing up, and I'm not going to spill his age, but he's older now, and he's still rocking out. I mean, he just put together a new project, and, I saw from a really young age, he would play on the beach every Sunday, and I would see how people would just get up and dance and chat, and I felt like it was this really cool community where people were in
Yeah.
the sun, and they weren't thinking about their bullshit. They were just like suspended in the present moment. It almost felt like as a kid I got to watch people find this like loophole where like every other day of the week and moment they're like pissed about something or traffic or bills, and it was like, I don't know, it was like the secret. It felt like the secret place where people can just like have fun. And I remember those days at the beach. Like those are some of my favorite days of my childhood and favorite days ever. And watching that, like rock music was my first love, like Beatles, Stones, Bob Dylan, The Doors, stuff like that. And then when I hit middle school, kind of similarly to add in his own world of like, once I discovered alternative rock, and the alternative scene stuff, it was like, whoa, this lit up a whole other place where I was like, oh, these people are like, a little bit older than me and doing the rock thing that's not so classic, but felt very achievable and very relatable. And I think we both fell in love with the genre because of that.
That's really cool. What kind of covers did your dad do? What was his band based in?
So I'm from Florida originally, like Fort Lauderdale Beach, Pompano Beach, shout out Pompano. And my dad would play like, Satisfaction by the Stones or Turn the Page by Bob Seger, Take It Easy by the Eagles, a lot of just like the staples of classic rock music
Like
from that time.
60s, 70s.
More 60s, 70s, not 80s. My dad
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
really love 80s, but yeah, more of like the 60s, 70s, even maybe later 50s, depending on the group. I love Eric Clapton, The Doors, Pink Floyd. I mean, all of that. So that was like my foundation sonically of like, this is, of what like truth was then.
Yeah. Wow. So you both have some music in your family. How do your family and how do they all feel about what's going on? How you're taking off with this now?
Oh, they are. I think family is what I've come to learn. When I was younger and they're like, you need to get a job, you can't do this. You use that as fire.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm glad that I did do that. So it made me want to go harder. But as you get older, you realize, yes, there could have been other ways that they conveyed it in my situation. But, parents really just want security, right, for their
Yeah,
kids. They want them to have a good life. But now that they see everything happening, it's all of them couldn't be happier and excited
yeah.
and proud of us. We've been working at this together for a while and separately, and we're just grateful that the music is connecting with people.
Yeah. So let's talk about that because that's a big story about how you've grown your community here and like what you've done really with social media and how it's picked up and taken off. Because I tell you, I can't like even before like I knew about you guys, I started following you and I saw you here in Cleveland. Like I couldn't scroll my social media without hearing that little like I hear that bit. You know what I'm talking about. I'd scroll and like it was just all over the place, everywhere. It's just like it seemed to just be everywhere. So tell me a little bit about that. Let's talk about that. I'm not going to spoil it. I want you to tell the story. So
I'll start and then Ad could pick up. We kind of ping pong, but you know, we put Hanging On by a Thread out the summer, like June of 24.
yeah,
Um, and so we were going into our first national tour where we were playing with the Dangerous Summer the first time around. And it was like 6 weeks. And honestly, our RV kept breaking down. We had never really toured like this before. We were just trying to make it to the shows and survive the run. Coupled with it was like a big release. And it kind of was like at the time, we weren't able to keep up with content and staying alive on the road. It just was kind of like pick your poison. And then a year goes by and we were in Laguna Beach together in April of this year and started to kind of feel like it was about to be summertime again, that like end of spring feeling. And I was like, man, we need a summer song. And we started thinking about it and we're like, I think we already kind of have a summer song. It just never got its shine. So we did a few pieces and it started catching. And Addison is really the postman. He kind of figured out, based on all of the things that we've been posting, like I feel like creatively I'll see a shot or I'll see an alley or I'll see something like that I think would feel great for our aesthetic and he just executes it on a really high level. And
yeah.
by being the postman, I go live, we kind of tag team things. People started really digging the song and finding us. And it's been really rad.
Yeah, I think it's incredible that we can be gaining real fans, connecting with people, and selling tickets for our tours from home, And it's something that always wasn't like this. And I also understand the other side of it to relate with a lot of artists. Like we were posting for so long and getting nothing in return, and
Yeah.
that's unfortunately, it's part of the process with social media. And listen, I'm sure there's instances of it never catches with some people or some things, right? And I think it's right timing, right? Being consistent is super key, and focusing on the art before the social media. Like, I think a lot of artists, there's like these two categories that are like either I'm a real musician, I'm going to spend all my money on recordings and fuck TikTok, it's lame, right? Then you have the other side that's like, hurry up, let's just get whatever song done in our bedroom because we got to post a million times a day, right? You have like these
Right.
two things. And Ray and I wanted to bring both of those together.
It's finding the intersect.
Yeah, it's like we believe in the music, we are recording it well. And
Yeah.
then when it's done, it's like now we're going to use the modern to get it out there.
I think that's awesome. Yeah, start with the art for sure. That's great. So it is. You said rad. Rad is the right word. It's a really rad song, and it is a great summer song too. And like you said, I think it's at this just perfect intersection that it's just caught this cross section of people on social media. And I think it helps that when the messaging with the posting that you do, because I think you reach a broad sort of a broad arena because you talk about growing up on bands like Green Day and Paramore and things like that, and then also being small enough to like answer every comment. I love that you did that, and that that you were um, accessible, I guess, to to this community. I think that goes a long way too, right? In building that community. And so I'm amazed. You're like at 76,000 followers on Instagram. I mean, that's huge. And
Thank
then
you.
you're
Yeah,
you're touring all over the place, North America. And I know at the Cleveland show, you talked about like if you signed the record deal.
We actually signed that day at the
yeah,
show.
Yeah.
Like we just signed with Network Music Group. They're based in Canada, but they have offices everywhere. And they have a really great roster and a really great team of people who. It's funny because one of the A&Rs was following us for like a year, so that's another like thing. Of whoever ends up listening to this, of like you just don't know who's watching you ever.
Yeah.
And it could be one person, like you could get 600 views, but maybe that one person is somebody that needed to see that. And outside of just industry, like that one person emotionally, like could have hit you, and it could have changed you or inspired you. And I do think collective belief is how we change things. You know what I mean? It's multiple
Yeah.
people either saying that's cool or that helped me. And then it starts to catch a bigger thing.
yeah. And the label's
Yeah.
been really supportive. They just want to support what we're already doing. They don't have any intention on changing the art. Yeah, and it's been a good process so far as it's early, but we're about to film the first single's music video for
Next
our
week.
album next week before we leave.
Oh, wow. That's great. So you're putting out a full album then soon. I know you have the EP. You just dropped an EP not too long ago, right?
Yeah, we dropped an EP this spring.
Hmm.
And we've also simultaneously been working on a full length that will come out in two parts. Along with like there'll be singles and that roll out and everything. But yeah, we've been like not secretly working, but kind of silently while Hanging On has been doing its thing, just like really, really getting these songs perfect and getting the creative ideas behind them mapped out so that like we can reach more people.
Yeah. Sounds like you've been really, really busy.
We
No,
have been
not
very
at
busy,
all.
but this is what we asked for, right? So
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. So Hanging On by a Thread, is that going to be on the full LP?
no, that's on the EP.
Okay. So these are all new songs then that are coming out on the LP.
All new.
Everything.
Wow. Awesome.
Yeah, so half of it is done, mixed and mastered, and we'll start rolling these first 5 out pretty soon.
Awesome. New music coming out. Are you testing it out on the road? Have you played some of these at some of your
We're gonna
shows?
be we're gonna be playing. I'm not gonna spoil it, but we're gonna be playing one of the new singles out in the set.
Yeah, we haven't played it live yet though, but on this next run, it'll be in the set.
Yeah, we've been rehearsing it though, and the boys sound great. We all sound great together. I'm just so excited to play this one live because it's a ripper. And as you've seen our show, it's very high energy and
Yeah.
very inclusive. And so I'm excited to get
Yeah,
this
we're
one
just
done.
super excited to play too. Like this feels like the first tour where we're evidently selling tickets to our fans this time online. So that's a really cool feeling. So I'm excited to meet everybody in person.
And we'll be back
Yeah.
at Mahal's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. I hope to maybe I'll get out to see you again at my halls.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
it
and
will
a lot of my listeners are in Northeast Ohio. So if you didn't see them at Mahal's the first time, you guys are going to be back there in November, right?
Yeah, November
Yeah.
3rd we'll be there.
That's awesome. That's really cool. But you talked about the boys. You have a regular band behind you now. You want to shout out your?
Yeah, our drummer who's been with us for the last
Year and a half.
year and a half, his name's Luke Caro. I think we're about to hit 100 shows with him on this next run. And we just did auditions and found our bassist. His name's Hutton. So this will be his first run with us, but really sweet guy and super talented.
That's great. And you also talked a little bit about your high energy live shows. I want you to talk about like paint a picture of I've seen it, of course, but paint a picture of an RCW show. Like it is very high energy. The crowd gets very into it. You're very into it. Like,
Well, I think you just nailed it. Like, I think that when we're really into it, it gives
Yeah.
permission for other people to get into it. And in a world where I feel like for a bit, people have labeled each other cringy to care or like cringy to like be, I think it's like the pendulum is swinging the other way. And I'm like, dance, mindfully mosh, cry, scream, like whatever you need to do in this place to fucking deal with the world and society, like let's do it here. And like you can't. And I think if we're moving and having a great time and feeling it, all of a sudden, after a few songs, I could kind of see the crowd start to loosen up and allow themselves to dance. And it's fun. It's almost like we get to give a permission slip to everybody. At least that's our goal at the show, to just like let loose. Like you don't have to take yourself so serious,
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that you just outright gave that permission. I think you were talking to the audience about that too, and just like making sure that message got across that this is a place to kind of let loose and be your weird self and just.
When I was a teenager, and I know Addison too, like we were desperately searching for that. And and then when you found a band, like I know Addison grew up in Long Island with Taking Back Sunday, or I grew up A Day to Remember and, close to me. And when you felt that, where you're all singing lyrics in unison, or you're like, wait, I'm not the only person in the world that feels like this,
Yeah. And that's another thing. I mean, I think that specifically with Hanging On by a Thread, I think that that's so out there that you do have people in the audience that are singing along with that song, right? And are you starting to see that with more of your other music too? People are starting to come to the shows, and they know the songs, they know everything that you guys are doing.
Yeah, it started as like 2 tours ago, you'd see like 3 people, and then the next tour you see 10 people in the audience, because we're opening, right? So when we saw anybody knowing the lyrics at first, it was like, what's happening? But I mean, it's hard for me not to get emotional on stage when I see it. I'm sort of in that phase with it, because it's just like, we wrote those songs in this bedroom, and to see people singing with us is really just such a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's great. It's so crazy. I'm like, we're in Cleveland.
Yeah, like,
or like there'll be comments like lately it's been spreading even more to Europe, which is cool. Like, thank you algorithm for showing it. But a lot of people in the UK it'll be like Scotland, Finland, the Netherlands. When are you coming over here? And I'm like, shit, 10, 15 years ago, whatever it was, you're selling CDs at the mall. And like now it's like and that's the thing is like we get tired, we're human. But I think we're so excited and we feel so blessed and lucky that it's catching, that we're kind of like, let's be tired. It's kind of like as an adult, it's like choose your tired, choose your own adventure. It's like we're blessed enough to be tired doing this than a lot of other things that we maybe wouldn't want to do. So
yeah, for sure. So you guys, you mentioned you've been out on tour a couple times with Danger Summer, and you're going out again soon with Boys Night Out.
Yeah.
So tell me about touring, about being on the road and stuff. Talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, we love it more than anything. I think every tour we've learned things that make the next tour better. Each tour we do, we're like, cool, we know not to do that, or we know to do this differently. But I mean, what's better than traveling around with your friends, playing music, and having a good time? I mean, it's freaking great. At the end of the day, you're still on tour, and it's tiring. It doesn't matter if you're in a bus or a van, you're still living on the road, right? So no matter how you cut it, it's a crazy.
It's not for everyone. Yeah. It's funny because a lot of, outside looking in, you're like, oh, she's the only girl. She must be really high maintenance. And it's like, we all just hang. We laugh a lot. There's obviously moments where it's like, you have van trouble or car trouble or the RV stuff where it's more just like when you're in the trenches, who is a vibe to kind of move through it with. And I was talking to Josh from The Dangerous Summer, and I asked him for advice on our very first tour ever. And it stuck with me of like, if you just have the nucleus, like the most important thing be like playing the show, and you kind of allow everything else to melt away. Like, from car troubles to something coming out of the blue, and you're just like, if the number one focus is just playing a sick show, you kind of let everything else roll off. It sometimes is hard. The hardest part I think about tour is just how tired you get in general, because there's no like comfort or retreat really. You're just kind of like in it.
It'll be a little easier. We're manifesting later this year or next year to have a designated driver for touring, which will help things. But right now we're in grind mode.
Yeah.
I'm the main driver.
That's the main driver.
I hit it pretty good until I usually burn out, because from the beginning, I don't let anyone drive until it's like week 2. And I'm like, all right, someone needs to drive.
We're going to have to start switching on for sure.
Yeah.
So are you in a position yet to upgrade your ride, your bus or your van or anything?
Yeah, so we're in a Mercedes Sprinter this time.
Yeah.
And we'll be in hotels every night. Yeah.
Cool.
Hotels or Airbnbs. Like, I'm excited for Canada, because the same price of like hotels here, it's like we can get 3-bedroom houses sometimes for the night, which is nice, because we can all have like our own space to cool off after the show. Where like, I loved the RV, even though it kept breaking, because it feels very campy and it's very fun, but it's also like, if you need a fresh towel and you don't have any with you, unless you have time to stop at a store or whatever, it's like, it's nice to be able to call down or have,
it's nice
laundry.
To be in a different Hilton every night.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
Great,
and
I'm glad
so
that's worked it out. Yeah.
we're definitely, in a weird way, even though it seems like RV to Sprinter is like the opposite, it actually feels way more elevated for us.
Because when you get the RV, you're not getting a hotel every night. You're getting a hotel like
every
once a week, to have a real shower. Because even the nicest RVs or buses, it's like there's still bus showers.
Yeah.
It's not like unbelievable.
But we're grateful.
Yes.
That's awesome. So you talked about manifesting a driver. We love to manifest on this show. Let's manifest some other stuff. What's your dream tour? Who do you want to tour with?
I'd love to tour with Youngblood.
I knew you were going to say that.
I just think that right now there's like a live band epidemic. I call it the auto-tune dilemma, where I'm not shaming anybody for doing it, but I just, like I told you kind of my backstory, I just love real rock and roll and real shit, and feel like he's one of the pioneers in a mainstream way doing it right now, which just like is really exciting.
Absolutely.
Also Green Day would be insane.
I was going to say that next.
Green Day would be fucking bonkers.
It's pretty crazy, because we've manifested everything that's happening, from nothing, and when nobody believed in us or nobody heard us, and we just stayed the course and just kept doing the next thing, and it's just pretty awesome to see.
Yeah. What about festivals? Any plans for hitting any big festivals?
Yeah, we can't announce yet, but we got on some festivals next year.
Yeah.
And, we are excited.
We're very excited.
But we just announced the Rock Boat, so we're playing the Rock Boat Festival in late January to February with the Struts, Bowling for Soup, Dwayne.
Need to Breathe. A lot of great bands.
It's going to be cool.
Are you on a cruise ship for that?
Yeah, for 7 days.
Yeah, it's a 7-day cruise.
Wow.
San Martin, and San Juan. And
we play 3 sets.
3 sets on the boat, but it's very like fam kind of oriented, like the festival feeling. They actually say it's like the world's largest floating festival, or that's like their tag. So we're excited.
And this is the 25th year of this one. So
that's awesome.
So I'm like, how does one beach goth is where I'm at right now. How do I do the beach goth? I'm like, how do I figure out how to feel myself?
It's gonna be awesome though. It's literally 8,400 people on a boat, to see music. So
just hope there's no toilet sewage emergencies or anything like that. That's something that happens on cruise ships sometimes. I don't want to. I knock on something.
All shit in the water, dude. I don't care.
That's great, though.
Good to know.
That's going to be super exciting. Yeah. So you Strats and Bowling for Soup and like some other bands on that with you.
Yeah,
That's great.
it's gonna be sick.
Awesome. So what else is coming up? I mean, not like that. That's not enough. I mean, you got a new album coming out soon, new music coming out soon. You hit the road again. You're gonna be on a cruise ship. Got some festivals next year. Anything else you guys
Man,
rolling on?
just working on releasing all this new stuff and making the art, visual art that goes along with it, and
And also kind
finishing
of
the album. We have to go back to Atlanta.
and also like sidebar just for music, like we've never had this level of, I guess, for lack of better word, success. Like we've never been at this space before. So we're just learning ways to take care of ourselves, take care of our mental while this is all happening, and taking it moment by moment and day by day, because sometimes it's everything we've ever wanted, but sometimes when it's here, you're like, holy moly, like all these people are really coming, and this is all, there is a sense of pressure, divine pressure, like, but still like, okay, now we have to put our money where our mouth is and show up and do the damn thing. So just really trying to stay in our pockets of things that keep us good, nature and our dog and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's really, really important. If you could talk a little bit more about that, like, yeah, how do you center yourself? You talked about, I think before we started on the podcast, take your dog on tour with you, which I think is great because I love dogs. But like, yeah, what are some of the things you take some time? I mean, I know you said you're going to be in some nice Airbnb, some hotels and things like that, but do you take that time in between shows and like while you're on the road to just kind of like decompress and just like soak it
You
in?
try, you're just around so many people every day.
Yeah.
Every morning I go for a mindfulness walk with our dog every single morning. Um, Even if it's just 10 minutes, because he has to go anyway. And it's kind of funny because in the morning when the alarm goes off and I'm pissed, I'm like, no, like I'm still so tired. But the second I breathe fresh air, especially like all of a sudden I realize I'm like, I'm in Canada, or like I'm in, Vermont, or like, especially like this fall, we're going to see all these changing of leaves in different places we've never been. It's like, it kind of makes me get into the gratitude of like, yes, I might be tired. But like, look at where the fuck I am, and kind of have that reminder in the morning. And I try really hard to start my days, specifically the first hour of the day, whether it's a meditation, a mindfulness walk, a journal, a reading of a book, a conscious conversation with a loved one, just something that I have like a point of reference to. So I don't just kind of feel like I'm manically going through the day.
Yeah. Wow. So busy. I wonder, like, do you have time for just the stuff that everybody else? Do you have
Really.
time to watch a movie, watch a TV show? I mean, you're just so busy.
Well,
Like,
not so,
I
dude.
know
We
you read books. You
the
said,
TV goes on pretty much. It's like
At the end of the
at
day.
the end of the day, and it's on for 20 minutes because we're out, right? Like,
yeah,
so the only time we're watching something is like if we just got done with a run, we will not leave bed for 2 days.
yeah.
But no, there's not much at this stage of like the
Like Labor Day
normal
weekend,
stuff.
we went to Ojai with some friends. Like, we try to, or like we'll go to the beach. We go to Huntington Beach a few weeks ago. We create pockets of time to be people, but it is something that we have to kind of like put into the schedule of like hard off day, and even then
We're still answering,
we're still answering people, and we're still connecting, because again, we feel so grateful
Right.
that, and so excited that it is hard sometimes to just
because
turn on.
man, we would wake up and turn on our phones and there was no notifications. You know what I mean? For so long. So we don't take anything for granted, and we want to make the most of the opportunity that we've been working towards, but also at the same time not completely burn out and just then we can't even do anything. So
Right.
it's definitely finding the balance in it, and we're getting better every day, getting a little better at it.
Yeah. I love too that like at your shows, I mean, like you are on social media, you're so approachable at your shows too. You play a set and then you're out at the merch table and you're talking to people and people are really into it. Instead of you're taking selfies with people, you're talking, talking music and everything. I think that's so great. I mean,
Well,
is
because
that
we're fans first, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I mean, we're going on tour with Mest. They're on 2 weeks of this one. And I mean, when I was a kid, man, I saw Mest at a club and I just like was blown away and got their autograph on a CD. Like, we're not in this for any sort of like ego inflation, you know. We're really in this because we need to make music to make ourselves feel better, and if it can do the same to anyone else, then that's the goal, and that's a win. So you know, we're all humans. We're not above anybody because we're on a stage playing some songs. So if
Yeah.
anybody wants to connect, like if I was just a normal human on the street, as long as you're cool, right? And
Yeah.
you're a nice person, like, yeah, let's talk, let's hang out.
I think that's awesome. That's great, you guys. And I get the sense that you are healing people with your music for sure. You're making people feel better. I think that's awesome.
That really
Thanks,
makes me
man.
emotional because that's, it's really what we needed when we were kids, and I think it's what a lot of people need right now in particularly, and I don't think it's a coincidence that we're like caught in the intersect of people needing that, and it connecting,
Yeah.
right place, right time, and just super thankful, and I'm glad that you felt connected to the music and
Yeah,
hit
thank you
up
for wanting
Dan
to
and
talk to us, you
yeah.
know.
Yeah. I'm so happy to talk to you and to have you on the show. I've been listening to your stuff now for a while.
Did
I
you
really
first
do
hear
think that
about us at the show?
what's that?
Oh, no.
No.
No, you heard about us a while ago, you were saying.
Yeah, yeah, no, because I found you on Instagram first, and then I was like emailing your manager Dan for like months to try to get in. I wanted him to give me access to your show when you came to Cleveland. I wanted to go take pictures and stuff. So
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember this.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
it's all a blur sometimes.
yeah,
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 I knew exactly who you were up stage right by the
Yes,
whole
I spoke
taking
to you at the
photos.
merch table. You
Yeah.
came up.
yeah. I talked to both of you at the show
It
that night.
all is coming back
There
now.
you go. Yeah, yeah. No, but I think your music. I think it really it does meet the moment. I think that a lot of us feel like we're hanging on by a thread very often anymore, and I think music that's relatable, that just reminds you that there are other people too that are dealing with some stuff. And I think
Yeah,
that
we're
that's
not
really
alone,
important.
you know?
Yeah,
But when you're in it, don't you feel that way? I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
I think the biggest epidemic we have is like a loneliness epidemic. I really feel that, and I do think it started more in 2020 with like the division and not being able to connect, and I think it makes the live shows even more special right now.
For
So
me, it's like
I
when,
need,
when,
yeah,
when you're going through it, you're going, man, you look at other people of what you think of them, and you're like, oh, why can't I just be normal like them, right? Like thinking they don't have their own bag of shit, or not shit, but just stuff we're going through,
yeah.
and
Sorry.
we're you checking.
Yeah, I was checking.
We're all more alike than we know, or want to. Got to zoom out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that the world's so crazy right now that sometimes music's the only thing that makes any sense.
Yep.
Right? The only thing that it's the only thing that isn't crazy. I
Right.
mean, the only thing that feels like you can just sort of settle into it and just and not feel like you're going out of your mind for a little bit,
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. Well, this has been so fun talking to you guys,
Great.
and I think you're going to play a song for us.
Yeah, let me move Mark first.
Okay. Because he's the best singer.
What kind of dog is Mark?
He's a schnoodle. He's half schnauzer, half poodle. He showed up on Addison's porch
Oh.
like 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was like right when we started writing together for the first time. And yeah, he's our Mark. He's our tour pup, and he's so cute and great, but he loves to sing. Like he may sing through the door, but like at least it won't be as loud here.
I love that though. I just kind of love that. That's great.
It's so cute. I think he followed the music. I was like, I think he showed up.
He thinks he's part of the band.
Oh, he surely is. He definitely is. Maybe.
Awesome.
We do this.
Do you want to tell me anything about your? I always like to hear about people's instruments too. Is there anything special about that guitar?
This guitar, I'm in partnered with Schecter, and I needed an acoustic, so I got the Avenged Sevenfold acoustic.
Nice. Yeah.
I think if we do this, you'll have a little more room. Beep, beep.
All right, here's Hanging On by a Thread.
Start with the verse. Trip down the urge to feel alive. Will you heal my scars? Cause I'm terrified. Getting old, it's easy when you're young. You're blindfully innocent, blissfully dumb.
Before it's said, before it's done, I give this everything I got. The worst part is I'm spinning out. I'm trying to keep it together.
I'm hanging on by a thread, and I'm caught up in the middle, chasing all these thoughts in my head.
Hey, hey, hanging by a thread. Does it feel when you let it go of everything that you can't control? Sick of getting up every time I fall. So is it worth the thrill of it all? Before it's said, before it's done, I give this everything I got. The worst part is I'm spinning out. I'm trying to keep it together.
I'm hanging on by a thread, and I'm caught up in the middle, chasing all these stars in my head.
Hey, hey, hanging by a thread. Whoa, whoa. Hey, hey, hanging by a thread. Whoa, oh. Hey, hey, hanging by a thread.
Yeah, under one condition,
Y'all swore that this couldn't be true.
I waited for your permission.
Now watch what I'm about to do.
Hanging on by a thread, and I'm caught up in the middle, chasing all these eyes in my head.
Hey, hey, hanging by a thread. Whoa, whoa. Hey, hey, hanging by a thread. Whoa, oh. Hey, hey, hanging by a thread.
Yeah.
Wow, that was so good. I love that song. That song sounds so great rocking, but wow, it sounds so good acoustic too.
Thanks,
That
man.
was so tight. That sounded so good. I think you got to release an acoustic version of it. That
Funny you
sounded
say that. We're
amazing.
actually
We recorded it already.
we recorded
You
it.
did. Okay.
Yeah, we wanted to kind of do a gift to fans in between stuff at some point that it will be released. But it is something we recorded already, so we will get that out soon. But yeah, it's a different thing acoustic. You actually really hear it what's happening.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you really I think you don't really know a song unless you can strip it down and play it like that. And you guys know that song. Like you've got that song down.
Yeah, for sure. That's funny. Thank you for having us on and everything.
Yeah, thank you. It's been so great. And good luck with the tour. Good luck with
Thanks,
the record. Good luck with everything. I think you guys are going to be huge.
Oh, I
Oh,
appreciate that.
that's so nice. And I hope to see you if you're free again at Mahal's.
Yeah, let us know. We'll throw you on the list.
Sure will. Yeah.
Just the beginning.
Thank you for
man.
believing in us, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Rock on,
Right.
guys.
I'm Addison,
And I'm Ray, and we're the band Rose Colored World.
and our everything after is music, is healing, and it's medicine.
Hi, I'm Ruby Ray from Nashville, Tennessee, and my ETA is Memphis Honey, the new single out now.
All right, cool. Hey, this is Scott from Kerosene Stars, and my ETA is kerosenestars.com. This is Kevin Bang, and I'm writing songs and recording some songs. And my everything after is basically what I'm doing now. So creating music to reach other people and finding purpose in that music. Because purpose is like oxygen and creative purpose is like supercharged oxygen.
Hey, this is Johnny Radelet, drummer for the band Live. And my ETA is being the most me I could be and letting go of the guardrails for 2026.